What's up, y'all? I'm Sade, and we are here for our next Astro Series segment, and we are diving into the fourth house. What is the fourth house? So, we just spoke about Cancer, and Cancer being the ruler of the fourth house. The fourth house is really our foundation, and not foundation in the sense of the physical home in its structure and its infrastructure, but how were we nurtured by our caregivers? That emotional foundation. How were we developed in our younger years of childhood to understand our emotions and to move forward in the world with emotional intelligence and centeredness? Now, the fourth house is so important, and the reason why, I mean, all the houses are important, but the reason why the fourth house is so important is because if you do not have emotional understanding of who you are, then you really can't move forward in the world with security. Security starts in the fourth house. Personal security. I can usually tell if a person struggles with, you know, being able to be that 10th house person of Capricorn, developing that legacy, growing, building, and moving towards what they want by the stability of their fourth house. The fourth house signifies your roots, so it's where we get our ancestral wisdom from, right? Things from the past that is part of your family lineage that is indeed a makeup of who you are. And when you understand these aspects of your family lineage and of your background, it's so much easier for you to propel forward in the world. Fourth house is very stimulated and ruled by the mother. So it can definitely showcase a type of relationship that you might have had with a mother figure in your life or a maternal figure in your life. And that is really going to shape how you understood your emotional intelligence, as well as the gifts and talents that you can begin to bring into the world as we move into the fifth house of Leo. Now, picking back off of what I said about Leo, we know that Leo is about how we showcase ourselves to the world. Now, imagine having a debilitated fourth house where, your fourth house might have been maybe in the sign of Aries, let's say, where there was maybe a lot of tension and a lot of turmoil in the home. So your emotional needs were kind of met with aggression. So imagine having a fourth house in that fire element. You won't really be able to excel your gifts and your talents into the world because you're insecure about who you are emotionally. Fourth house dictates who you are emotionally. Family lineage, like I said, roots, ancestral wisdom, and even deeper as psychic gifts and abilities that was passed down from generation to generation. Fourth house being a water house. Water signs are all about like that mystique, that magnetism, that magical power of being able to tap into the unseen world and to virtually, visibly create a world based off of what they feel from that unseen world, what you can't really logically talk about, but you feel it. It's that wisdom that's passed down from generations. So this is why it's so important to really take note of what is in your fourth house so you can use that to propel you into the future. If you don't know the emotional reasonings behind what you do, then everything you do is from an unconscious state, and you're really not in awareness of who you are. And if you don't know who you are, then you can't be who you've always been. You can't use the gifts that your ancestors left for you to propel into the world. And that's why it is very important to know what is in your fourth house. Now, the moon loves to be in the fourth house. It is very comfortable having its office in the fourth house. And the sign that is also very, very comfortable here is Taurus. And the reason being, because fourth house is a water house ruled by Cancer, Taurus brings that firm stability. And remember, Taurus is about values and beliefs. So if you know what you value and you believe in, and you have that firm, sturdy earth element in the fourth house, which moves with the moon, then you can bring a sense of stability into that emotional, insecure house. Bringing that stability, knowing what you value and what you believe in, can help you have a deeper understanding of your emotions and your emotional needs and what you're not willing to tolerate and what you are willing to tolerate. So Taurus does very well in this fourth house. Because the fourth house isn't a physical seen house, because it rules our emotional foundation, it is a house that a lot of people kind of overlook. Opposite of the fourth house is the 10th house. And the 10th house is what you're known for. It's the legacy. It's what you build in this physical world. And the fourth house is kind of hidden. Most people don't understand the emotional needs of a person until they are in an intimate setting or an intimate relationship with a person. That's when fourth house energy kind of takes its presence. Who are you emotionally, and what do you need to feel nurtured and safe? So let's say if you were to have Jupiter, the planet Jupiter in the fourth house. Jupiter in the fourth house is very well placed because it expands this emotional intelligence. It expands the roots connecting you to your ancestral wisdom and tapping into that psychic ability and possibly being able to teach that to other people. Maybe even being a person who came from a home where, of immigrants or foreign travels, because Jupiter being the planet that rules Sagittarius is about foreign travels. So being able to tap deeper into your ancestral knowledge by traveling to other places. And because Jupiter is about abundance, you have the means to what you need in order to have these explorations and tap into that psychic realm. All right, so that's all we have for the fourth house. Remembering that Cancer is the ruler of the fourth house, and it is also where the moon is placed. Thank you so much for joining my Astro series here talking about the fourth house. Next, we will go into the moon and what the moon signifies and what you can get out of your moon depending on what sign you have it in. Thank you guys for joining.